do a lengthy speech because you are our guests and we want to hear from you much more than from ourselves. But the school has a Diamond Jubilee celebration, 60 years after its formation, scheduled for the 8th of February, 2025, and has many pressing needs, but we decided to pick only 4. The school requires a modern library. It requires a modern laboratory. It requires a dining hall, a very good dining hall. I mean, you must get somewhere good to eat. The one which is the old one, which most of these people have come through. And completion of the perimeter wall. 2/3 of the school land is already captured. We only need 1/3. If only you and the CS Education can speak in low tones, probably we'll hear something good. At this juncture, I want to hand over the mic to our patron and the WHS East Member of Parliament to take over the rest of the program, and I beg to sit. Thank you very much.
Hello, the chairman of our Wajir High School Alumni Association. I am a member. I am just but the patron by virtue of being the member of Parliament for Wajir East. But I am a proud member of the Alumni Association, admission number 834. Some of my classmates are here. Your Excellency, the PCS of the Republic of Kenya, Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi, the Honorable CS for Education, my friend, Bwana Ogemba, the Chairman of the Council of Governors, and my Governor for Wajir County, Ahmed Abdullahi, our Senator for Wajir County, Mheshimiwa Abbas, a Member for Parliament for Wajir West, Mheshimiwa Yusuf, all the wazeis who taught me. I was admitted by PN Drangu in 1978 as Form 1. He left a few months later. I was in school, all the years I was in school. Our headmaster was Henry Ngumbao Suma. Now the name has changed, I'm told, but that is the name I used to know. So all protocols observed, and members of the Wajir High School Alumni Association, Assalamu alaikum. Mine is very simple. The chairman of the Alumni Association has already talked about the reason why we formed this association and what we need to do going forward. Yes, he talked about 4 projects, but the main reason why we formed this association is for us, as old boys and old girls, to give back to this school. Hatutaki kusema serikali tusaidie all the time. We want to be the ones who are going to bequeath classes, dormitories, laboratories to the school. We want to see so-and-so dormitory maintained by one of our alumni. We want to see such and such library under the name of another alumni. But the government of the Republic of Kenya also has responsibility. They will also play their responsibility. So without further ado, let me call my colleagues. This is not a political rally, but nataka wasalimie tu wananchi. I will call Mheshimiwa Yusuf aseme moja, followed by the senator. Then our governor will invite the other guests. Thank you.
Prime Cabinet Secretary is the Minister of Interior, at the same time Minister for Foreign Affairs. I call him one second most powerful person in this country, Kenya, because he's holding so many portfolios. Cabinet Secretary Education, Honorable His Excellency the Governor of Wajir County, the Senator Wajir County, Honorable Abbas, and my brother, the patron of this association, or Wajir High School, the MP Wajir East, my fellow former student, my elders, doctors, engineers, everybody who is here, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Wajir High School alumni, I want to take this opportunity to welcome the Cabinet Secretary and the CS to this auspicious occasion. Today we are proud being part and parcel of this association, and being a former student of this school. I take this opportunity to humbly welcome you to this occasion. First, there is a reason that this association was created or formed. It was not only to fundraise, but also to network and assist those who are behind us to get jobs, to mentor them, and to give them direction in the near future. And also, it was formed not only for fundraising, but also to come together and network, or even remember each other. Because most of our students, we left each other when we left Form 4. Some of them we met here today. And I was very much proud to see some of them doing very well. We have doctors, we have engineers, we have lawyers, we have politicians, we have so many people. And I came to confirm today, only this team, this association, can change Wajir County, not only Wajir High School. Because we have everything. We have teachers, we have entrepreneurs, we have business people, we have everyone. Let us not have this mind only assisting Wajir High School, but also the entire Wajir County. We have the capacity, we have the powers, God has given us everything. So, and I know there are a lot of others who are not able to join us today because of their own other engagement, but we hopefully next time we will have larger number than this. His Excellency Honorable Salim Davidi, we are requesting from the government on behalf of this association to kindly today, you and the minister, as the chair said, before, when you are standing here, give direction. At least the 3 main projects should be implemented by the government, and we will also do what is remaining. And I'm ready to also donate what I can to this institution. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Yusuf. It's my pleasure now to call our Senator, Mheshimiwa Abbas.
The Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Boss Vadi, Cabinet Secretary Education, His Excellency the Governor of Wajir, honorable members who are present of Parliament, the senior citizens and former teachers and principals of Wajir High School who are here, Wajir High alumni who are seated here, especially the ladies. I know there are a few ladies there, and by proxy, I think I'm a member, and I want to organize them. Rukia Subo, Nuri Abdullahi, and the rest that cannot see who is who. And other guests who have joined us today, I think this is a very important day. 60 years down the line, we're seeing the first alumni being formed. It is actually a blessing. I tried myself when I was a member of parliament for WHS in 2014, the 50 years celebration, where His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei, was there as a guest of honor. And he did a wonderful job that time. We have fundraised for 12 offices for the head of department and the principal, and also for the dormitory. And also the governor provided also a borehole for the school. I hope that one is working still. Principal. Is a borehole there? Yamaji. Okay. Your Excellency, Prime Secretary, I think Wajir High School was the only school until late 70s that in the entire region of northern Kenya, I don't know about Turkana, but the rest, including Marsabit, Wajir, Mandera, Garissa, Isiolo, and it is the only place that we all converge for education. Most of us who had the privilege to go there, met there, and today, in every corner of this country, you will see doctors, engineers, and any other, cadres of working for the national government, the world of non-state actors, all of them, and all the students of Wajir High School. It was such a privilege to go to Wajir High School at our times and before. However, today, I think northern Kenya has so many schools. But of course, Wajir High School still remains the mother of all schools. But however, as you have already been informed, the structures still are getting old. And of course, at my time, I want to also brag around. I think I'm the only member of parliament who did good work in Wajir High School. I have to say that. Because the rest of my colleagues who are before me, and most of them were all the students, they don't even build one dormitory. It's only Engineer Sharawe who did a Harambe for one dormitory. But I did for classrooms. I did for the principal was sitting with the secretary in one room, the one left by the legs of Principal Rango. And that was actually, when I went to the office, I was embarrassed. I was forced to build 13 rooms, offices, to take care of the head of departments and the principal. And today, I want to give you a challenge for the member of parliament, Wajir. We don't need to ask for money. Wajir County has enough money. All the MPs, all the students of the place. Well, I'm hearing saying that you need classrooms, you need library, all these things. That can be done by ourselves. The resources are there already. Maybe you can just add, the principal secretary and his minister can add, but we must make the effort to start those things. Because something like a library is not something to be asked. It's actually honors, on our honors, and it must be done. Because such a school of 60 years old cannot be missing a library this time. Therefore, I do want to challenge everybody here. Please, let's start ourselves first. Asking always is not the best. We need to ask more things. We need to have more teachers. CS for education. We have still teaching staff are very few there. We have very few teachers in that school, and this is a national school. Therefore, we request you to help us. And your DG is from that school. We want to have more teachers and more, qualified teachers. We have so many PTA teachers in the state of having real teachers there. And therefore, with those many remarks, today is not a day for politics. And I will say thank you, Principal Cabinet Secretary, for joining us and accepting our invite. And therefore, you are most welcome, and hopefully you'll come to Wajir again, because the president is going there next, around June, July, January, February. Before you go there, probably bring us the goodies that maybe you have for us as a guest of honor now. With those few remarks, I can invite the governor. No, that's okay. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Thank you, Senator. Since he has given me a challenge, I accept the challenge, Senator. And I hope that you'll be helping me in fulfilling that challenge also. Thank you very much. I have been reminded that we have in this country 2 levels of government. There's a national government and there's a county government. So, sitaki kuharibu maneno. I will call now the deputy governor to invite the governor. Thank you very much. Deputy Governor.
That was a pleasant surprise. Prime Cabinet Secretary, Waziri wa Elimu, our COG Chair, MPs present, other dignitaries, alumni members, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, we have 2 levels of government, and that must be kept always. And now mine is just to remind everyone here, which we did in the morning, Bwana Prime Cabinet Secretary, that it's really a moment for us as the former students of this school. It's a time to rekindle memories that we passed through Wajir High School, one of the best schools in the region. And all these guys who gathered here, all these people who gathered here, are people who are not only building Wajir County, but are building the nation as well. We are now gathering here for the first time as an alumni to aggregate and synchronize our efforts. Just as we build the rest of the nation, we give back to Wajir High School as a school. And for that matter, without much further ado, it's now my honor and pleasure to welcome the COG Chair and the Governor of Wajir County to give his remarks. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Your Excellency, the Honorable Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable CS for Education, Honorable Julius Migos Ogamba, my Deputy Governor, our Senator of the County, the Honorable Members of Parliament, distinguished members of the Wajir High School Alumni Association. Assalamu alaikum. I'm happy to join you here today as your governor and an associate member of the alumni by virtue of being the governor. Your Excellency, as we were told at the table where we were having lunch, Wajir High School was the first secondary school in that part of the country. And there are people here who have the details of the rich history of the school, including Sharawi, who told us that Narok High School, Marsabit, and Wajir High School were constructed or began rather in 1965, I think immediately after independence. And Wajir Primary School was also the first primary school in that part of the country. So much so that a lot of the senior people from the entire region, as far as Tana River and Marsabit and Isiolo and Garissa and Mandera, came through those 2 institutions, Wajir Primary School and Wajir High School. Wajir High School celebrated its 50th anniversary in my first term as governor. Abdullah was my chief officer then. Abdullahi is known as Furuqa Abdullahi Al Hassan. And I remember we did some things for them. We built classrooms, we renovated the whole school, we did quite some graveling before we welcomed the then Deputy President and current President, who was the chief guest, to celebrate with us the 50th anniversary. I hear you now on your requests, and I whispered to the patron that in spite of our limited resource envelope, I will, as Wajir County government, we will take one of the 4 items, and he chose for us, that's your patron, the ICT, so that it's actually an ICT hall. And I'm hoping that the alumni will also do something, just not push it to government at the 2 levels. Your Excellency, the school that I went to has a very strong alumni. It's called the WHS, the Old Starehe Society. And one of the things that we are required to do, those that are able to, is to sponsor 1 kid in perpetuity by paying 1 million shillings. And the income earned out of that shillings 1 million keeps 1 kid in perpetuity at Starehe Boys Center. So it's a good thing that Wajir High School Alumni Association also is waking up to the realization that they have a duty to their school and to the generations that came after them. The people seated here and many others who have not been able to come here are consummate professionals, the creme de la creme of our society, and they went through Wajir High School. Wajir High School got you to where you are. You owe to give back to Wajir High School. Your Excellency, as of today, we have 354 primary schools in Wajir County with an enrollment of 137. We have 80 secondary schools, from 1 for the entire region in 1965 to 80 secondary schools only in Wajir County today, with an enrollment of 31,000 people, 31,000 students rather. Ours is a pure pyramid society in terms of demographics. For every class, there is at least double the number of students in the class following it. So our demographic dynamics are completely different from the rest of the country, partly because we have many kids, alhamdulillah, and we are still, I don't want to say largely, somewhat polygamous. So it's not unusual to find a 30-year-old with over 15, 20 kids. And that contributes to this kind of demographics. Your Excellency, the only other thing I want to say is that there is need for schools to build strong traditions. Strong traditions. The things that I learned in Starehe carry me to date. With urbanization, there's a lot that's happening. Society is opening up. We're dealing with an influx of migrants in our county. Much as we complain that there isn't anything much happening there, our economy is not doing good. Your Excellency, the biggest problem we have on the ground now is illegal immigration from Ethiopia that's taken up a lot of the handiwork. I don't want to say manual jobs. And this itself also creates a lot of challenges. Of course, there's also cross-county integration. So many people from other counties finding opportunities in our county. There is need for career talks. We have been a somewhat insulated society. Our HIV numbers were pretty low. In absolute terms, they're still very low. But they're growing, partly because of this integration, this urbanization. So I hope some of you seated here today will find time to go back to the school, to talk to kids about character building, about being responsible Kenyans, about the danger of HIV/AIDS, and a lot of other things. There's a lot of good things happening in our society, but that also comes with a lot of challenges. And this is why we talk of mentoring. So I hope you'll find time to mentor. With those many remarks, it's my humble pleasure to invite our CS for Education to give brief remarks and invite our chief guest, who is the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Your Excellency, we pride you as a voice of sobriety in our politics. We don't see a lot of you because we are all in foreign affairs. We hope you move to a function that brings you closer to us, to come and visit us in our counties. Waziri, karibu.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, Your Excellency, the Governor of Wajir County and the Chairperson of the Council of Governors, Governor Ahmedi Abdullahi, Members of Parliament here, the Senator, Your Excellency, allow me to ride on the protocols that are already established for each and every one of us. Your Excellency, allow me to first and foremost thank this team and everyone who is here today for finding it necessary that after 60 years of the existence of Wajir High School, you will now be able to form the alumni of Wajir High School. Congratulations, all of you. It is a pleasing thing, therefore, for us to join you to celebrate not just the establishment of this noble association, but also the launch of its logo and plaque, which are symbols of unity, purpose, and commitment to the transformative power of education. Wajir High School, ladies and gentlemen, holds a storied place in the annals of our nation's education history. For 60 decades, this institution has stood as a beacon of learning, nurturing generations of young minds and producing exemplary leaders, professionals, and change makers who have contributed immensely to the social economic development of Kenya, and particularly in the arid and semi-arid lands region. That is exemplified by yourselves. This Alumni Association is a testament to the enduring legacy of this institution. It signifies the unbreakable bond between the school and its graduates, a bond that transcends time and geography. Through this association, we celebrate not only the achievements of the past, but also the promise of a bright future. The establishment of the Wajir High School Alumni Association marks a new chapter in the school's history. Alumni associations are powerful platforms that amplify the impact of education in the following ways. Number one, they provide mentorship and guidance. Alumni offer invaluable mentorship to current students, providing them with career advice, motivation, and role models to emulate, just what the governor has just stated. Number 2, resource mobilization. Alumni are instrumental in rallying financial and material resources to improve school infrastructure and programs, ensuring the institution remains competitive and relevant. Number 3, they provide networking opportunities through their relationships, and they create opportunities for students to access internships, scholarships, and professional development pathways. And lastly, advocacy for excellence. Alumni champion the school's reputation and advocate for its growth and development within the broader community. In essence, ladies and gentlemen, the alumni of an educational institution are a critical component of its history and future. This is why I wish to take this opportunity to call upon the managers of all our educational institutions and their alumni across the various levels of education to take after your example and create similar opportunities for engagement. As a ministry, we are working on a legal and policy reform network which will include defining and recognizing the place of alumni associations in our educational institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, education is the cornerstone of national development, and as a ministry, we are committed to ensuring that no region, no community, and no child is left behind. In this spirit, I'm pleased to announce the following measures to support Wajir High School and its Alumni Association. Number 1, we will work with the association to prioritize critical infrastructure projects such as classrooms, science laboratories, and ICT laboratories, including the issue that you've raised with respect to the perimeter wall. And we are really concerned across our country's public institutions where a lot of our pieces of land belonging to institutions are being encroached on by private investors. So with perimeter walling, we will reduce the chances and opportunities of those who intend to encroach on our land. We will also advocate for funding through the National Government Constituency Development Fund and other government initiatives to address immediate needs. Number 2, we will strengthen scholarship programs and bursaries for vulnerable learners, marginalized communities to promote equitable access to education. Indeed, as we speak, we are working on a law for the harmonization and consolidation of bursary schemes to ensure that all the resources we have are optimized for the benefit of our deserving learners. And number 3, we will work closely with the association to facilitate partnerships with the private sector, development partners, and civil society to support resource mobilization and mentorship initiatives. As part of these reforms that I have alluded to, the ministry will establish a framework to recognize outstanding contributions by alumni, showcasing their impact as a source of inspiration for current students. The unveiling of the Wajir High School Alumni Association's logo and plaque today is a historic milestone. The logo symbolizes unity of purpose and the shared vision of the alumni to uplift their alma mater and its learners. The plaque, on the other hand, is a lasting reminder of the commitment we make today, a pledge to support the institutions that shaped us into who we are today. Ladies and gentlemen, this inaugural meeting is not merely a ceremony. It is a call to action. I urge all alumni, partners, and stakeholders to rally behind Wajir High School and indeed their respective schools and institutions. Let us join hands to ensure that our institutions continue to thrive, nurturing future leaders and innovators who will propel our nation to greater heights. As a ministry, we stand ready to support you. Together, we can transform Wajir High School into a center of excellence, a model of resilience and a beacon of hope for the Asal region and beyond. In conclusion, I wish to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the Wajir High School Alumni Association for this remarkable milestone. Thank you and God bless you. God bless Wajir High School, its alumni, and the great nation of Kenya. It is now my distinct honor to welcome our chief guest, His Excellency the Prime Minister and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, to deliver his remarks.
Okay, sawa. Asante. Okay. Asante sana. The Honorable Julius Migoso Gamba, Cabinet Secretary for Education. Your Excellency Ahmed Abdullahi, Chair of the Council of Governors and Governor of Wajir County. The Honorable Adan Daoud, Member of Parliament and Patron of Wajir High School. Our Senator who has spoken here. And our other Member of Parliament. The Principal, Adan Kasim Farah. The Chair of the Steering Committee, Abdurrahman Ali Hassan. Distinguished members of the alumni, parents, teachers, students, stakeholders, and friends of the school, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to preside over this inaugural meeting of the Wajir High School Alumni Association, which coincides with your enduring journey to the 60th anniversary celebrations in February next year. My greatest appreciation goes to the leadership of the alumni for inviting me and for your dedication to preserving the enduring legacy of Wajir High School, which has produced many renowned leaders who have served diligently in many spheres here in Kenya and abroad. I'll be coming back to that aspect. It is particularly encouraging to see former students united for the purpose of enhancing the alumni network and celebrating the achievements of your great school. You are laying a firm foundation for the growth of this school into the future, ensuring that it continues to benefit the generations that come after you. Your school, as you have heard, has a long history of excellence since it was founded on February 8th, 1965. As the first secondary school in the former northeastern province, it pioneered education for nomadic communities from Garissa, Isiolo, Mandera, Marsabit, Wajir. It grew from humble beginnings with a single stream to a national school excelling in academics and inclusivity. As we celebrate your alumni, we honor the former students who have made a sterling contribution in the public, private, not-for-profit, and academic spheres. And I'll just mention a few. It's not exhaustive. They include, for instance, the late Ahmed Khalif Mohammed, former Minister for Labor and MP for Wajir West, the late Yusuf Haji, former Minister for Defense and Senator of Garissa County, Engineer Abdullah Sharawi, who is here, former Permanent Secretary and Chairperson of the Public Service Commission, Mandera County Governor, Mohammed Adan Khalif, and Senator Ali Roba, Engineer Mahbub Malim, the former Executive Secretary of IGAD and the current chair of the Organization Fund. We also have the former immediate governor and many others who have distinguished themselves in the governance of our country. We also recognize women leaders who have rendered exemplary service, including Ambassador Rukia Subo. I don't know whether she's around. Thank you. And Mrs. Nuria Sheikh Farah, as well as men and women who have made a significant contribution in our business sector, including Mr. Ahmed Sheikh Abdullahi, former principal and proprietor of Isili Mall and Yare Park, and Mr. Hussein Anshur, the CEO of Bluebird Aviation. This is by no means exhaustive, and it will continue to grow. I wish to acknowledge and congratulate the newly elected Alumni Association leadership and encourage you to continue building collaborative networks to continue supporting the growth of the school. The students, parents, and the community will look upon you to sponsor needy students and participate in physical and social development initiatives that will shape their future. You will also be called upon to mentor the students and guide them into the most viable lifelong careers. This event, together with your 60th anniversary next year, are critical milestones that cement the legacy and achievements of your school. Let me conclude by urging you to remain part of Wajir High School's transformative journey. You will proudly be part of a vibrant alumni network that will influence change and shared prosperity for the local communities and for Kenya. Let me, just before I do the formal launch, let me echo the critical points that have been raised, first by the Minister for Education, the Honorable Migos Ogamba. In terms of policy, he has announced very clearly that what you are doing, his ministry is now formulating a proper legal framework so that it does not just begin and end with Wajir, but it will spread to other parts of the country so that our institutions can borrow from the initiative that you have today put in place. It is important that once we have gone through institutions, we do not just walk away, because institutions will grow when those who have been beneficiaries of those institutions look back and see how they can improve and consolidate those institutions. So your gesture is extremely important, and it deserves being emulated across the country through a proper and structured legal framework and policy position, and the Ministry of Education will spearhead that, and we are happy that it's well on course. The second thing that I just want to point out is that integration, as the governor has said, is important. We must work together, and there is something to benefit, because as we stood here, I could see the introduced Engineer Sharahoy, who has made a major impact in different sectors of this country. He has been, I think he has a proper record, but he told me he has been a PS in 8 ministries in this republic, and he has grown within the ranks. He is respected, I can tell you for sure. And he was very fair. whether he was dealing with the roads or whether he was even dealing with the boundaries and delineation of boundaries. This was a very fair man, very honest, and very focused. If you wanted something done, and that I can attest to, if you had him in the mix, you are going to get good results, fair results, and a very balanced approach. Equally, I was so pleased to see the Mwalimu in 1969, Lesirma. Lesirma has been also a PS, he has been a legislator, and again, a very dedicated public officer in this country. When you see what we have today as the Kenya Airports Authority, it used to be then the Kenya Aerodromes. He was the pioneer, this gentleman here, who worked and set the foundations for what today is the Kenya Airports Authority, that handles all our aviation in the Republic, all our facilities. And he also served as a very, very solid permanent secretary. They set the tempo. One sometimes looks back with nostalgia because these were very, very solid principal secretaries. And he's here to namshukuru tena because he's one of us and he also taught in your school. But it is important that we take care of our younger people. Some of the statistics that we see in two areas are dangerous, and I think collectively this can also be something that the alumni can champion. One is the influence of drugs in our young people. It's a very, very serious challenge. And when they have a chance to hear from the alumni and how you help them, you will again be helping them veer away from dangerous practices and focus on what is right for them, for their future, and indeed for the country. So that is one area where I think deliberate initiatives from the alumni can also be very useful in helping our young people all over the country to become citizens of good repute. I was shocked, and I don't know whether some of you saw it, that sometimes we tend to think this drug issue is a small matter. But I was watching Al Jazeera just a few days ago. And one of the things that came out is that the regime that has been toppled in Syria, when they now start unraveling the things that were there, you find that there was literally a government orchestrated industry where drugs were being bound in electric coils, in electric equipment, and then exported. So that the government there was surviving on drugs, but exporting them as electrical goods. You know, so that tells you what happens when drugs permit and when we reach a stage where governments also lose direction. Because how do you reach a stage where a government becomes dependent on destroying the lives of other people? So these are issues that I think we can take up collectively, and as an alumni, it can be a focal point, a focus point, which can help us make sure that our children all over the country are safe from these dangers. The second one is the issue he mentioned around HIV. the governor mentioned this. Again, we need to focus. In the region, for instance, Kenya, I think, has got about 1.3 million people who are living with HIV, and they are dependent on government support, either the antivirals, and because with that you can, but there are other countries where we see a very high percentage. We have countries in Africa where the numbers are as high as 8 million people living with that challenge. So I wanted to focus on Kenya because sometimes you don't want to talk about other countries because people can get very, very offended. But the statistics are there. Statistics are there. So we need to draw the attention of the younger people to their moral behavior, because it can become dangerous and we don't want to lose them. And I bring this up because many countries are relying on the US support under the PEFA. Many countries are relying on the PEFA agreement, which supports medical drugs and so forth to various countries. But you see, a policy in a country can change. There's a new regime that has come into the United States. Suppose it decides to look at it differently. What happens to our citizens who require medical attention from those? And right now the ratio is that the government of Kenya covers about 40% of the needs, but through partnerships with other countries, the 60% gap is filled. So suppose that 60% gap, suppose the countries that are supporting us also pull back, then we will have an even bigger challenge to make sure that our citizens who deserve medical attention, who deserve medical drugs and so forth, to help them not to suffer the consequences of pain and so forth, what happens to them. But I wanted to bring this because our demography has shown that 70% of the Kenyans, of our people, our population is below 35 and below, 70%. So we have a duty to talk to our younger people, and we have a duty as alumni to give special attention to some of these areas so that as we talk to them about career development and so forth, let us also talk to them as areas that need special attention, ili taifa letu lisiangamie. Hatutaki our younger generations to suffer. So we all have an obligation, and therefore your initiative is extremely timely and so important. And we want to acknowledge kwa kusema tunawavulia kofia kwa sababu ya jambo hili. So we will be working there to unveil what we have to unveil. But hopefully next year between me and Migos, we will, as I said, we will conspire so that here February, we find a way of being part of a celebration with yourselves for this very good achievement as we look at this. So, Governor, tutapanga tu polepole through conspiracy na senator na wengine ili tuwe pamoja na nyinyi wakati huo. So it is now my pleasure to declare the Wajir High School Alumni officially launched. And I've also been taught to say Assalam Assalamu alaikum wa rahmat Allah wa barakatuh. Nimejaribu, si ndio? Asante sana. Thank you so much, and we wish you tremendous success as alumni. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. We forgot to recognize very prominent people here. One of them is Engineer Mohammed, former Senator Mandera, former Assistant Minister, former Member of Parliament, former PS, and more importantly, an alumni of Wajir High School. We also have our sister, Madam Nuria, one of the old students there. Madam Nuria is a very prominent lady from Wajir. She is in charge of, she is, I think, the chair of the Peace University, which hopefully one of these days we'll invite you to launch. The better half, not the wife, the better half of the senator. This guy will not have been a senator if she was not there. So, and then we have our former governor, Ambassador Mohammed. He was the former member of parliament for Wajir East, where I am. It was much bigger actually those days. Minister, and we also have the former minister, Mohammed Elmi, and now our former governor, Ahmed Mukhtar. And PS Abdurizak. Oh, PS Abdurizak is there. Okay, and is that Hussein? No. And Engineer Bashir. I mean, if I were to introduce everybody, these are the cream of our society. And down there we have we have chairman for Kemri, Dr. Ali, popularly known as Capretta, former member of parliament. We have the current chair of Capital Markets Authority, Mheshimiwa Ugas. Let me just stop there because I think I will be making a lot of other mistakes if I continue. Now, let me invite you, it's my pleasure now to show something down there when we finish. So let me invite you down here. We launch the logo and the association, and then our Ambassador Ruqia will give the vote of thanks.
Mgeni mheshimiwa, huu wimbo huwa tunaucheza wakati kuna furaha tele, na leo tuko na furaha tele kama Old Boys of Wajir High School. DJ, tupatie the best of dancehall. Na pia asante sana for your good speech. Thank you very much. Mungu akubariki. You are a man of many titles, and I'm sure you deserve all of them. Thank you very much. I don't know the Marka. I what? Good. Aha. Sufyan. DJ, hello. I think you are, he's a bit overwhelmed, which is, okay, what? You can join them. You can join the dance. You can join the dance. You can join the dance. Karibu sana mheshimiwa. The moves are just like the ones of Misukuti. Yes, move it, man. Thank you very much. Everyone was in. Thank you very much. I will now hand over the microphone to the patron. Okay, we will have a countdown when the Prime Cabinet Secretary is cutting the ribbon. We will have a countdown. Kindly please let us give the camera guys a moment. We will have a countdown. Mheshimiwa mgeni wa heshima, watu wasogee nyuma kidogo, kamera ziweze kushika. And then mgeni wa heshima, we will have a countdown of 3, 2, 1, and then you respectfully cut the ribbon. Okay, let's start. 3, 1. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It will go down the aisles. Wow. Tutakuwa na group photo. Yeye mgeni wetu wa heshima na viongozi waliopo hapa. We'll have a group photo, and then after that, okay, sorry. Makofi. Mheshimiwa Abed Daud, please, can you guide the photo session? No, there. Okay.
Do we need to do a vote of thanks by Jeremy? We can do it from here.
Where is Rukia? Ask her to come down. Ask her to come down.
Yeah, I'm told we will take one photo here. Yeye na viongozi ambao wako.
Okay. We are just waiting for Ambassador Rukia to give the vote of thanks. But I give it to you there.
Let's just push at the back.
Ni wananchi wetu wana habari wengi. Ni common man.
Sijaelewa. Check it. Tuende nyuma.
Hiyo shot. Ni wapanua kidogo. Wapanua wananchi.
Agita wachache.
Next to Sharawi, Engineer Sharawi, you can do it from here. The vote of thanks, and then we can plan the photographs.
Songa nyuma tupate wasi. Songa tu nyuma. Okay.